An important announcement from the Valdez COVID-19 Unified Command.
Good evening, Valdesians and others watching from other locations over the internet. I'm Jeremy O'Neill, Mayor of Valdez and a participant of the Valdez Unified Command. Today, Valdez received confirmation of its first positive case of COVID-19. The individual is in isolation following the guidance of their medical provider and public health officials. As much as we've been uneasy for this moment to come, Valdez should take solace in the multi-agency and industry response that partnered to provide right-sized precautions to identify and then provide support for when this particular moment came. Our efforts around hand hygiene, physical distancing, following the masking advice of our state and federal health officials, and being mindful of our personal risk factors have been extremely effective and will continue to be extremely effective as we continue to work together during this unique time in our city, our states, and our nation's history. Joined with us this evening and who will speak are Dr. Ann Zink, our State of Alaska Chief Medical Officer, Louisa Castrodal, epidemiologist with the Alaska Division of Public Health, our local physician, Angela Alfaro, the City of Valdez's medical staff representative, and Dale Schiffler, Director of Administration for Peter Pan Seafoods.
Mark Detter, City of Valdez City Manager and Lead Incident Commander in the Unified Command.
Terri Lynch, Valdez Public Health Nurse, and
Dan O'Connor, one of the incident commanders and members of the Unified Command, and also the president of Prince William Sound College.
Thanks so much. I'm Louisa Castrodal, an epidemiologist with the Alaska Division of Public Health. Almost 5 o'clock tonight, we received notification of a positive test result for COVID-19 from our state public health lab in Fairbanks. We relayed this result to the providers and public health there in Valdez. This was a sample that was collected on an asymptomatic individual associated with Peter Pan, and it was collected on May 20th, Wednesday, and it was part of a screening effort for all the workers there. This individual was asymptomatic and remains so today when interviewed by local public health nurses. Local public health is working with Peter Pan and the Unified Command to do the contact investigation. As part of a basic contact investigation, we talked to the case and try and ascertain where they were and who they might have had close contact to. This individual came to Alaska from the lower 48 in late April and was quarantined on site there for 2 weeks. Was asymptomatic during that time frame as well and has been working on campus since then and has not left. It's not clear the source of the infection, whether this was something that was picked up locally since the person had been there for a month, or whether this is the test that we're seeing, the positive result, if it's picking up virus that might have been an infection in the distant past, and we're just seeing residual virus from that. We're going to continue to investigate with local public health and partners there in Valdez to ensure that the community is safe. We will continue to investigate with our local partners there in Valdez. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me here. As you've heard, Valdez has received confirmation of its first positive case of COVID-19. This was detected in a person who was appropriately quarantined and screened by their employer. This was a case where everything was done right. The employer, the individual, and the screening mechanisms were all in place. Any one of us could have been Valdez's first case, so please remember this and show compassion to the individual, the other employees, and the employer. Our local medical community, in cooperation with the City of Valdez, Providence Valdez Medical Center, Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, and the local fish processing plants, have steadily been preparing for the first positive case in Valdez. While having this case is unfortunate, scary, and uncertain, it came as a result of everyone's due diligence of keeping our community safe. It has occurred in a way that we've been preparing and planning for. I want to reassure the community of Valdez and beyond that as a medical community, we are here for you and we are working around the clock to keep us all safe. There is testing available in Valdez, and we have been screening anyone with symptoms in the past several weeks using the guidelines from the State of Epidemiology Office. The medical team will be planning for further testing and screening, so stay tuned. I want to thank our community for doing an amazing job of working together to decrease the curve, keeping our spirits up and thinking of others. This positive case truly reinforces the need to stay vigilant with hand washing, social and physical distancing of at least 6 feet or more, and masking to protect others. We have learned so much from the pandemic and will continue to learn more. The best medicine at this time is prevention and paying attention to the appropriate lines of communication, which means looking for reputable sources of information, like the DHSS website, CDC, and your local medical community. This is not the time for blame, anger, or retaliation. As I mentioned, any one of us could have been Valdez's first. So please show compassion. Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on tonight, Jeremy and everybody. I'm Dale Schiffler, the Director of Administration for Peter Pan Seafoods. And this employee was living in private quarters when the test result came back to us. We have moved the employee to isolation quarantine pending test results if we get retesting as soon as possible. Anyone the employee has been in contact with has also gone into quarantine, and the employee's living areas and working areas have been sanitized. We are anticipating retesting the employee and anyone he's been in contact with as soon as possible, and going to follow our COVID-19 protocols with the guidance from state and local health authorities. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Ann Zink. I'm the Chief Medical Officer for the state of Alaska, and it's an honor to be here. I'm sorry that you have your first case. It's really always hard to hear, and every time I go through this with another community, it's kind of like getting punched in the stomach, and you got to figure out where you go. But I think just as you're hearing from your community members, it's important to realize what has gone well and the system is working, and that's why we've been setting up these systems. So first of all, to the patient who's been diagnosed, I'm thinking about you and your loved ones. It's never a diagnosis that anyone wants to get. For the partners in the community that have been working hard for a long time to prepare, thank you. For a long time, Valdez has shined as a community that has stepped forward into the space of the unknown, being able to prepare and plan and find ways to come together. I never really worried that much about Valdez. You guys were always coming up with great things and making things come together. So thank you for all that you've been doing, and we're here to support you throughout all of this. To the industry partners, thank you as well. Things have been changing and moving at lightning speed, and you've had to adjust and adapt your protocols to try to keep your patient, to keep your community safe that you work in, as well as the people who serve you, as well as your employees. And so thank you for the work that you've been doing. It's a lot of cost, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of time, but it pays off. But most importantly, as we move forward, know that you are not alone. You work with the public health nursing, your medical community, industry partners, state, and our federal partners. Every case matters. We're here with you throughout this adventure together, figuring out what this looks like and how we move forward. I'm sorry you have your case, but make sure you keep asking good questions. And as just mentioned before, the things that you do really do matter. So be kind, wash your hands, wear your mask, stay socially distanced, enjoy the outside, find ways to be meaningful in your actions, find ways to be healthy and well together, and together we'll get through this. Thank you.
I would like to thank Dr. Zink for being available to address and reassure the people of Valdez. It is an honor, and we wish you great success on the statewide efforts underway to keep us all safe. I extend the same appreciation to Louisa, Angela, and Dale, Mark, Dan, and Terry, and the many others who are partnering to ensure a robust response to this pandemic. The advice we've heard today is wise. Be kind, look to lift up one another, and continue to do the things we've been doing all along, which is physical distance, practice good hand hygiene, and follow the other instructions of our local and state health officials. As we enter into the holiday weekend, please take the time to reach out to your friends and loved ones as we reverently remember the fallen men and women who gave the greatest expression of love to preserve the American way of life. Good night, Valdez. God bless, and be safe.
Stay up to date with local information by visiting valdezak.gov/COVID-19. Thank you for listening.